in a marriage, are you willing to forsake your happiness for a lifetime?
It's dying to
Are
self,
you willing to be
Die
unhappy?
to yourself.
Die to yourself daily to the flesh.
We are back. What's up, everybody? This is
Vietnam.
episode 10.
10.
We made it 10 episodes in
Wow.
of Pops and Socks.
That's crazy.
Thank you so much for vibing with us, rocking with us. All our compression fans out there, you know who you are, the real ones. Again, if you're the first time listening to this, I don't know why Shaka is percolating over here in the corner. He is highly distracted.
How to do percolate?
If you listen, you can't see, but I'm clearly distracted by this man.
I'm like,
in the corner.
what's his face? That episode of Sister? You remember when he was doing the bounce?
The bounce, right?
The bounce.
I'm your host, Anthony Jones. To my right, the one over here percolating is my brother over here. Who are you, brother?
Shaka Andrew, guys. You know.
Shaka G.
who?
Andrew.
Don't
My
put my
other
middle
brother
name
to
out
my
there like that.
left,
Hey,
the one and only.
still the same, Mr. Bakari Andrew.
All right,
Stedman.
I hear you, a.k.a. Stedman.
That's why I gotta be Stedman though.
Don't worry,
on.
we'll answer that later in the podcast or a different episode.
All right, let's get it though.
Again, this is episode 10. Let's get it popping, guys. You know how we like to break it off, kind of talk about our weeks. Because I feel like we've been hearing a lot of feedback from a lot of our different fans out here. And it's crazy to even say we have like fans and people who really enjoy it. We knew that people were going to enjoy it, but the response. The supporters and the people that responded back, we see those. We appreciate it so much.
Good.
We call it the compression fans, a.k.a. your compression socks, because they
guys.
tight.
That's right.
'Cause we are a community. We are a family.
Therapeutic.
And I think they need this. Bakari, tell the people how your week was.
Oh, week's been good.
And
Hey, nah. He out here giving
good, like-
after
Life is
school
good.
answer. That's an after school
Nah,
answer.
that's the one of those, like, if parents, you know, how was school?
Hey.
Good.
Nah,
All right, go ahead,
truly,
go ahead.
this week I just been doing a lot of studying in the Bible, reading about Nehemiah and how to be a better leader, not just to my family, but to the ones that surround themselves around me.
I like that.
So,
I like that.
like I said, week's been good.
Look, go ahead. Look, can't beat that answer. I don't know how to follow that up. Shaka, go ahead and try. How's your week, brother?
I got you. I've been showing him up his whole life.
Dang. You gotta fight him.
I'm just playing.
Bakari's face, though. He said, you go right here, dog.
Defeated.
He
I'm playing.
He said, really, dog? You
That's
be
the
like
reason
that?
why I got trauma now. Look,
This is why we
this is
do
the
this
reason why I
episode.
gotta see a psychologist.
Hey, y'all notice we sit in the same spot. I'll spill my coffee.
I told you to act like you ain't did nothing once you spill it.
Right? But it's over here. Again, we family, right?
Nope.
But wipe it up. Old school dad trick. That's why I wore these cloth pants.
Oh my God.
But now there's a reason I gotta sit between these two, because if they sit beside each other, they might fight. But sorry, Shaka, let me cut you off. How's your week,
Not
brother?
love. Okay, so my week has been great, but Zola has now finally entered the stage of ripping her diaper off now.
Oh, she
Can-
cheeks out.
Thinking she can go Tommy Pickles all over the place.
Oh,
no.
Naked
man.
booty cheeks. So you know what we do? I say forget it. Go ahead and walk around naked.
You leave the baby naked?
Oh, bro, yeah. Let them learn, because when they pee on themselves,
Oh, yeah, right.
it's the most
But
uncomfortable feeling.
Here's the problem with that. When you got a baby and a dog and you see wet spot on the floor,
You don't know who to blame.
You don't know who to beat. I mean, you don't know who to chastise. 'cause I
Dad,
ain't-
no. He said you don't know who to beat. Yeah, beat your child.
And dog?
I'm definitely beating the dog.
Oh, yeah, I said
Hold on.
Domino get the boot a couple times to the back.
Oh man, Domino getting elbow drop.
You have Peter calling you out here?
Care about that dog. But Zola, on the other hand, I figure like you just gonna have to walk around naked, cause she does something about that Velcro. She just likes hearing the sound, and once it's off, it's off.
Yo, they got the I don't know if they have it for her size. They might, but they have like the pull-up diapers for them now, like the circle diaper 360s.
Oh yeah, but then when it comes to changing the diaper, it's a little harder just to.
No, you just rip off the sides. That's it.
Oh, well,
The
that
sizes
might
are
be a way.
harder Velcro. It's just
But let me tell you what happened last week. So LaShonda was out. I was watching the baby, just me, myself, and her, and we were totally out of diapers. So she had ripped her diaper off.
DEFCON 5.
So, I left the baby in the playpen, and I'm running upstairs looking at her playpen. I'm downstairs looking in the place in the living room where we usually keep the spare diapers. I even went down to the basement, knowing good and dang well there ain't no diapers down there, but I checked.
But I would've checked,
just in case. Just because, sometimes when you're doing laundry, I got a little shelf above my washing machine. I just put random stuff. So I said, just maybe there's a diaper up there.
Let me find a newborn.
Couldn't find anything. So LaShonda was going to be out for like another 30 minutes. So you know what I did? Black man ingenuity. So
Please tell me you didn't do what I think you did.
We have a pack of cloth diapers, right? You know what a cloth diaper looks like?
Yeah.
It looks like just a rag.
Yeah.
So I looked up on YouTube real quick how to fold the cloth diaper. I did that. But, I took it a step further, and I took one of LaShonda's pads, and I put it in the cloth diaper.
Lord have mercy.
Come on, you want to talk about ingenuity?
You know what? I don't know whether to clap, cry, or chastise
You know what
this
I'm going
man.
to do? I even took a picture of it. I might add it in the description of the podcast.
Hey, man, for all the parents out there, when you run out of diapers, use your wife's pads and basically a bandana, and you got you.
You got to do what you got to do.
Hey, man, but you know what? That's low-key impressive.
Yeah, listen, you got to do what you got to do.
Hey, all the real dads know. Everyone's like, I never thought about that. Our kid would just been naked in the house.
Nah, man.
My kid is naked. That's it.
I'll be honest with you.
Run,
Isaiah
like,
never
30
went,
minutes?
Isaiah never went through that phase.
Look,
Really?
Never.
either that, or I'm just gonna sit him in the bathtub until I get back.
Oh.
Nah, I'm good.
Nah, I mean, let him take a bath. So I have, because the time we had that.
You really?
Basically, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna take a bath. I'm gonna run to the store real quick, get some diapers. We're gonna knock it out.
You do what you gotta do. Hey, for all the
like
real
that.
families out there, the real ones are shaking their head. They're like, I get it. We've all
I
been there.
understand, man.
Everybody got that moment.
And the ones who haven't, man, forget y'all too.
Forget y'all, all right? So Aunt Jones on the beat. Tell us what's good.
What's good? My week has been really, really good. Again, we're getting into football time. Isaiah has been practicing left and right. I had to shed a thug tear. We were going over. He's in 7th grade, but we were going over coverages. I was breaking down cover 1, cover 2, cover 3 because he's playing corner, receiver, and a little bit of running back this year. So I was going over cover, explaining it to him, thinking he had no idea, but I was breaking it down to him, and he was catching it left and right. And again, a tear fell. look, I was like, you know what, son? You gonna be all right. Because I ain't gonna lie, me and Shaka were talking about, I didn't realize what cover 2 or cover 3 was until I got to college. Because and I'm telling you, in high school, we were played on sure instinct and athleticism. We didn't watch film. Not because we were just we thought we had it. Our team never watched film.
Nope, we just didn't do that.
We lifted and we went out there every week. Hey guys, this is who we're playing. We're gonna play the best of our abilities out there.
Every time I play Madden, I still don't know the difference between cover 2, 3, 4. I just know I got that man.
Praise for Shaka.
That's it.
But yeah, work, I ain't gonna front. I was getting my head kicked in this week. Oh my goodness. It was sure pandemonium. But overall, like I said, can't complain. I'm healthy. My family's good. My brothers are here.
Yeah.
And
Brothers.
we gonna be all right.
We gonna be all right.
All right then.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, for the people out there in podcast land.
Oh my goodness.
I have a question.
Here we go.
All right, this is for you guys, the family. Question.
Okay.
What temperature do you set your house on? Look, when you get to the house. Or matter of fact, what temperature do you keep your house at?
Currently, what is your
Currently,
temp set at?
Anthony's is at a smooth 68.
68. Actually,
Bruh,
sorry, right
bone
now.
chill.
It is cold.
Excuse me. Actually,
as all
right
get
now
out.
it's at 69 because these
And he's
crybabies-
sweating out here for some odd reason.
Listen, if I was, I'm not gonna be uncomfortable in my house. First of all, 68 is the ideal temperature.
For who? How you gonna set that for
everybody.
America?
It's clearly
How you gonna set that for America?
just like this. I said what I
How you
said. I said
How you gonna
what
set
I
that
said.
for America? Your temperature need to be at 68. Nah, you keep
68,
yours at
70.
68.
That's
It was
crazy.
even, and when it gets cold, when I flip my heat on, I literally keep it at 70, 71. Because my AC works good. Or
Your AC
heat
works a little too dang good.
Listen, yeah, you over here freezing.
Listen,
Matter of fact, tell the people, I want them to get on you.
Listen.
Tell the people what you keep yours at.
I keep mine at a smooth 73 though.
73. Now you said 74.
Look, that's comfortable. So I keep between 73 and 75.
Oh, you
That's
bugging.
comfortable for me.
I
Y'all
don't
bugging.
touch mine.
Because what's the point of making your house so cold?
bro,
What's the
you already know.
What? What's? Hey, can I get the question?
I didn't say another word. I didn't say not a word.
What?
My nostril. Come on, bro.
My goodness.
All right, let's get back to the what's. Yeah, all right, chill.
I didn't say it.
Let's give people what they want.
I wait for you to try to defend. Keep your house at 75 degrees.
God,
And you got a family of 15 in your house. Probably because the temperature's already hot in there.
Nah, I keep it at a smooth 73. It's gonna be a long podcast. Yo. All right. Scene.
Nah.
Shaka, what you keep your temperature on out here?
Nah,
I'm looking
got this.
I'm looking at this man with such
Telling you,
disgust.
right? Don't look at me. That wasn't me, man. All right, for y'all don't know, if we had smell-o-vision, you would smell that it smells like a toxic waste dump because
Something
Bakari's cheeks out here is slipping and running.
Something that happened. I had cheese last night though.
Anyway,
I had
did
too
it to
much
yourself.
cheese.
Anyway,
Let's move
if
forward.
you zoom in on my shoulders right now, I got chill bumps because it is freezing in this man's house.
69
All right?
degrees is not
68.
freezing.
I'm
Bro,
looking
it was
at
at
the,
68
I
beforehand.
see
I know I had to
number.
bump it up because y'all
Listen,
It hasn't even reached 69.
It has me. Yeah, it's doing 68, man.
All
It's
right, well,
close.
good. I'm comfortable.
In my house, a smooth 75 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Me and
There
my
we go.
wife, me and my
Sheesh.
wife don't agree on
My
the temperature.
goodness.
Listen, so when I'm there, I put it on 75. The moment I step out the house and leave to go to work, she put it on 73, 72.
All right.
See, what's the point of having it so cold that you gotta have a thick blanket to cover
Yeah.
up?
First of all, do you
That
see a
don't make
blanket
any
around me? If anything, actually, I like that. The blanket itself not to warm you up, or actually a little bit, but it's mainly a comfortable feeling. It's comfortable. Like you lay on the couch. Think about it, when you lay in the bed. I don't really necessarily need a blanket, but I lay one and it helps me go to sleep.
You don't need a blanket in this temperature?
No.
Listen,
So what you got is a security blanket. Yeah, that's what you got.
Basically,
You got a grown man security blanket. I feel that though, but me personally, I just
don't.
feel like why not set the temperature for 75?
so your mama must have never let you touch the thermostat. Y'all got over.
Not at
her.
all.
All right, that's
Not
as
at
long
all.
as it starts
But
making
why,
sense.
why not sit there and set it for 75 and then just wear less clothes?
yeah.
In your
Running
own
on
house.
clothes. If you
Walk around in
Nah,
a tank
we
top
was
and
over here
underwear.
last
Why do
one,
I
too.
gotta address? I shouldn't have to adjust my entire my house because of temperature. Now, like you said, your mama never let you touch the thermostat. For me, I grew up. Bakari, you came to my house. You can attest to this. When my mom was living back here, she literally never, ever, ever. It was a sin. This was in Tracy King, book 1, chapter 1, verse 3. Thou shalt never ever turn on thy thermostat. Ever. I'm talking about in the wintertime, because where my room was,
Yeah.
I was in a very back room, and our vent was broke in my room. She refused to believe me. So when it was time for winter, it's literally, Bakari, am I lying? It's literally 30 degrees back there. Like to the point, like you said, you had to put on socks, blanket. She even come back here. Ooh, it's cold back here. I'm like, really? Turn on the heat, please. And she's like, I didn't turn on that heat. And then
First of all-
in the summertime, it's 95 back there. So a part of me, I guess in my mind, trigger, I said, I will never, ever live this uncomfortable again.
That old house
that was for years.
That house had a
Bro,
furnace.
but you living like you living like you in December though.
But it feels amazing. There's nothing better when you walk in your house after being outside all day,
You can
and that
feel-
crisp air hits you when you walk in.
Bro, Chris,
My goodness,
You
the
know you
Spirit
can
of
feel
God
the same
fall
thing
on
if
me.
it's on 72, right?
No, I'm straight.
As long as the temperature
I walk
in your
the house
house.
angry, like, what is the what in
it's a
here?
little bit cooler than outside. Like you
Yeah.
gonna feel a difference though.
Matter of fact, let us know in the
Doggone,
chat
y'all's coffee
messages.
is iced coffee right now though.
Well, that's
Coffee
fine.
stop being hot to me.
Let us know in the chat, Facebook, YouTube, what temperature do you prefer to keep your house on?
We all
and
know
I
you agree
guarantee
with me.
most of the time nobody's gonna say 75.
I guarantee you more people will say in the 70s than they would in
Oh
the
yeah,
60s.
more people in America keep their
I don't
air
believe
set
that.
on.
Let us
70 and up.
let us know.
Let me know.
They'll keep it at 70, but they might have a fan in their room.
Listen, now if I did have a fan in my room, oh my goodness,
Those people are
that little,
psychos
fan in
too.
your
that
room
little
at
razzle
68?
dazzle, yeah, with that little razzle dazzle with that fan. Oh my goodness,
We taking applications for our middle member of Pop Society. My man is officially off the wagon. Off the wagon.
little razzle dazzle.
Nah, listen, my
68
brother-in-law,
with a fan.
when we were on vacation, he did go and buy a box fan.
Oh, he
and
tripped
kept
out.
his room at a smooth 70. It was probably 68 degrees in that house.
Probably because it was hot in that house.
No, it was cold. We
Bro,
were
it
all
was
there.
cold
What
in
was
there,
the
man.
what was the temperature of the house?
It was like, I think it was like 70.
It was,
Well,
now
it is
70.
it was at the
70,
beach, so
70.
70s at the beach is probably really like 68.
No,
That's
it
all.
don't. It was cold. And if you have a box fan in the wintertime, you got issues. Just accept it.
Bro, you got real problems.
Yeah,
Doggone, you a white walker out here. That's what you are.
Straight up White Walker. That's
Oh my
wild.
goodness. All right.
Let's get into these questions.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Topics for the week.
Just one.
So we've had a couple of feedback comments, kind of addressing part 2 of this Married at First Sight, but we want to take it a step further. Now, if you're not familiar with the Married at First Sight topic, please go back and watch the previous video, and you will get caught up. But some stuff that I feel like we left on the table, maybe due to time.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing Bakari kind of alluded to that we never really got to touch, and I want to start with Shaka, is so you said if you were single, and
on
receiving
Earth, on Earth 818, not in North America, all right?
Oh, you know,
I don't play with hypotheticals, all right?
whatever. 818 is, you know what? That's no here and there. But you said that you would think about actually getting married, or think about basically doing an arranged marriage if you had.
It's not an arranged marriage. I would get married at first sight.
Oh, that's probably worse, but it's okay.
Anywho, we're not gonna go over that again.
All right, so let's say you said, okay, just adjust it again. You meet that particular person, you've never seen them before, and let's just say you just not feeling them, right?
I'm just not feeling them. Okay.
Now, is
really.
divorce an option?
I'm not gonna divorce somebody off of just because we ain't feeling each other.
That sounds crazy. That sounds toxic if I've ever heard it.
Really?
You said I'm not.
Really?
But hold on, the person that you
got to in that situation. You're not gonna just divorce somebody. I'm not feeling you. I'm out.
well, that too. I'm talking about like
Attraction
what if
grows.
okay, so what if you didn't find them attractive? Like on the show, what we're talking about on the show is after how many days?
It's like 60 or 90.
So basically,
90.
it's basically a free trial and a marriage to ride a bike. Do we want to ride this thing out? And to me, Bakari kind of touched on it too, and he kind of said best. To me, you're kind of playing with marriage, like if you.
Then I'm juggling it.
But I think that's in
My
America because
goodness.
again, we like to try everything out. And if we don't like it, we're out.
Yeah.
Right, but marriage is one of those things. It's such a commitment. Like you literally.
So is a diet, but people don't follow that. Anywho, go
Well,
ahead.
I mean that's very, very true. Very
You treat
true.
you treat marriage like an appetizer.
Who's treating though? Don't say
I don't
you.
want. Look, I'm saying in that type of
yeah.
That's
aspect,
anyway.
you're saying I don't like it, therefore let me opt out. I don't like this one, let me opt out.
No,
I don't find this one.
I would not do that. I would not go in with the mindset of I can just back out of this. Divorce is definitely an option. No. If I'm in the confines of being married at first sight, I'm going to follow the whole entire thing through.
Or he's committed.
Oh, I'm 100% committed. Even if I don't like the person or I don't have initial attraction.
If you don't like the person,
If I
We
don't,
can learn to like each other.
Listen, yeah, you don't automatically like the person you might not see, but you'll find out that there are things about their personality, things that you, just like I said before, attraction grows. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give it a fair shot.
All right. That, yeah.
Simple as that.
So Shaka speaking as if you're giving a completely 100% fair shot.
Yeah.
So Bakari is, I guess to go on the build on the question, is divorce a real an option to you, or not in this just in the situation? Is it really an option towards you or with you? Excuse me.
you said not going off this situation.
With or with not. So we can do either one.
For me, divorce is not an option.
It's not an option.
It's not
You
an
in your
option.
house.
Well, I say till death do us part.
And he meant that.
Yeah, till death do us part. Like I said, in this world, we're going to make mistakes. In this world, we're going to battle. We're going to have arguments. But at the same time, why would you want to get divorced? Why would you say the whole till death do us part, through sickness and health, through rich and poor,
All of that.
So
Look,
why do
all
you
that.
think? So the question is, why do you think people, at least in America, we can't even say like Christians, because in the church community, we know that literally in the church community, divorce is at 50%, and in the secular community, if we want to split that way, it's at 50%. So they're literally even.
So it's the same?
It's literally the exact same. You can look it up.
I think it might be a little bit higher when it comes to the, I guess, church community.
I think
Which is
church
crazy.
community divorce rate is a little higher than.
Well,
secular.
that's crazy to think about because I would like to believe as believers we should know what we're getting into. My thing is too, like, I guess one of the reasons that,
Sometimes
and I know it's
church
me
is blind.
overthinking it too, because I'm not married. I got to at one point. I got engaged at one point, but I also think, to me, it is such a big deal, big commitment. I want to be 100. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I want to be at least 99.9% sure, because I think there's still going to be at one point that 1% or a few percent that you don't know about that person until you jump in with it. But I want to be as sure as if for sure as I'm sure that this person is for me. I don't want to go in and be like, well, I kind of maybe know. I don't know, really sure, because for me, I know that can leave that foothold to second guessing. Second guessing can lead to other stuff. And then next thing you know, you're talking about after a few weeks in or a year in.
Yeah.
This ain't it. And I think getting to know that person, that's why it's being intentional on dating
Courting
is key.
You still be courting? Is courting still a thing? And
I think it is.
But how long do you get to know somebody before you
can't
should
do that.
actually pop the
People-
question? Because me,
people
I waited
change.
5 years, and I say I waited 5 years because I was scared. I was also young. I was dumb. Was naive.
That's
Look,
right.
so
What else?
I waited 5. Look,
Keep going.
look, I waited 5 years because this was like what you was talking about. I wanted to be 100% sure, but in trying to be 100% sure, you're basically telling yourself you're not ready.
Well, that too. I can see that.
And also, I wanted to make sure that all my options was gone off the table.
Right.
Look, so that was my 5-year experience. But if I can go back now, within a year, I would have married her for sure.
You would
As soon as I met her, I would have went on a date.
After 1
Look,
year?
in 3 months. Look, we did talk for 3 months. Look, I would engage in the next 3 months. And then we would have sat there and planned, and like I said, I think we'd have been married in a
You would
year.
have engaged after 3 months of dating?
3 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going back and knowing what you...
Going back, I would, because it wasn't.
Me at the altar in a
Hey,
white
doggone right.
dress.
Look, it wasn't the fact that I didn't want to get married. Well, I guess it was the fact I didn't want to get married. It wasn't the fact that she wasn't ready because she was ready. It was the fact
I
that
think women know
I
a lot
was,
faster than men.
I was
Nah,
more
women want the glitz in the
scared.
gland.
I was
Should I
more
say
scared
that?
because in my mind I'm thinking, yo, I gotta wake up to this woman every single day, look at the same face.
That's what
I
you
gotta
thought?
sit there and be with this, with this woman. And this is back before I got married. That's why I'm saying this
I like
woman.
I like the
because-
honesty. I like the honesty.
Because when I say this woman, this is how I was thinking at that time. Now I'm saying I get to be with my wife. But back then it's like, can I handle being with this woman every single waking day of my life? Can I handle being with this woman, through thick and thin? Is there going to be anybody else? So I want to make sure that there's not going to be anybody better. Because the thing is,
right.
you're always going to be tempted, throughout your life. And if you put it this way, if you're not ready, just say you're not ready. But if you're scared just to kind of take that step because you feel that somebody else might come, or if you're scared that you might, how can I put it? I'm over here drawing a blank
Yeah, I know.
now.
Wrap it up, my man.
Huh?
Wrap it up.
I'll wrap it up.
Huh? Hurry up.
Nah, forget all that. But now I'm just saying, like, truthfully, like, if you're scared because you're second guessing yourself,
Yeah.
yo, really take a look at who you have and what all she has done for you. Because with me, I was stupid for not marrying Brittany earlier.
But you married her.
I'm saying I was stupid for not marrying her earlier because
What
she.
would have changed marrying her a year or two earlier?
What do you mean?
If you had married her earlier,
So
before
if you're dating, you're setting the, and I'm not saying
answer the question.
if you wait too long to marry somebody, you're leaving the door open for a lot of opportunities.
But you still ended up marrying her. So I'm saying, in
Yeah, I
real life,
still,
what
but you
would've changed?
take away a lot of the in betweens that could happen,
So
the
you're-
possibilities.
So mainly the thing you said what took kind of when you first, because you guys got met when y'all were really young. So basically you're thinking about options. Like, what are my options necessary?
Yeah,
You said that, like, taking all your options off the table And, you know, some people might hear this, women might hear this, like thinking, you know, why you should be having options if we're together. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, again, you can only make a choice based off your options. If only one person on this planet likes you, of course you must marry that person because you don't have any options.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you said, which is true.
What's true?
What'd you say? I thought you said that's crazy.
No, I was just talking about one person in the world liking you. I was like, dang, there gotta be more than that.
I mean, I'm probably sure there is. I'm just saying you're always good. You can only make a good choice based off your options.
Yeah.
Necessarily. If I heard that said best before, somebody said you can't fight if somebody's not dealing with temptation in the sense of, you know, just sexually or whatever areas. They're like, you know, I don't deal with that. Why should men or women? Because you probably don't have many options to necessarily battle that temptations. Let's just be real about it. But you might struggle with gossip. All the sensitive, but it's no here. I don't want to get off track. But
so we still talking about divorce, right?
Okay, yeah.
Somehow swing it all the way around.
Yeah.
This is how an example of two brothers who grew up in the exact same household think completely different.
Go ahead.
Not calling us Jacob and Esau, but I don't know who would be who. But anywho, when it comes to
I'm definitely Jacob.
Hey, let me rock with it, all right? Nah, let's go ahead and educate.
Nah, you can't cook. I can cook.
Thank you guys. Appreciate Jacob and Esau. You know who it is. But anywho, when it comes to divorce, I think it is an option. And that's me.
I like it.
Saying?
I like the idea that you think differently.
Oh, I'm going to elaborate, and I ain't going to take 50 minutes to do it. So when it comes to divorce being an option, I believe that when you have it on the table, you actually not really value your marriage more, but you also know that there are things that I know we say till death do us part, but I've watched Game of Thrones plenty of times, and there's plenty of
I know you're not, dog. I know you're not.
Listen, there are plenty of people in that show that should have been like, you know what, this ain't worth it. Let me just go ahead and leave the situation. If a situation is toxic enough there are certain things that no man or woman should have to put up with.
Should have to.
But you can choose to if you really want to just stay married just to have the status of staying married. But I feel like there are things that in a marriage that, hey, listen, I can't deal with this. Now, there's no argument that you can have that should be like, this should lead to a divorce. If we're having a discussion or a loud argument, there should be nothing that brings you to that D word. But I feel like there are situations in the marriage, for example, domestic violence or abuse. If you have dealt with that or are dealing with that, you don't have to stay with that. Why would you choose to stay in a situation where you're getting beat on? And that goes both ways. Right. I know some Olga Patakis out there that be out, not personally, but I know there's some Olga Pataki women out there that be out here whooping on their man, and the men can't do nothing to defend themselves. Leave that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you're dealing with certain things in your marriage that you know is just not going to lead to your ultimate happy, are you allowed to be happy?
Yeah.
Can you be happy?
The pursuit of happiness.
So if you were legit, and I feel like there are people out there that have been unhappy in marriages for 20, 30 years. You shouldn't be together. Like a lot of our grandparents were just together because they had no other options. You know what I'm saying? Back then when a woman didn't really work because they didn't really have the option to work and they were just at the house taking care of the kids. Let's take, for example, the movie Fences, right? With Denzel and Viola Davis. You telling me she shouldn't have left? You know when she was snotty, I stood by you.
Listen,
I stood next to you, raising your kids to it.
Nobody can cry like Viola Davis.
Listen, I cried when she cried.
What, Kerry Washington?
I
don't know what it is, but
Washington's face is not believable when it comes to crying.
She looked like she's 6 years old.
I know.
But I believe when she cried though. Nobody keep that snot going. But sorry, go ahead, continue.
So yeah, I feel like there are situations like that back in the day where Troy, Denzel Washington's character, hey, so I got this pretty young thing on the side, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I got a baby with her. Listen, that wife has been standing by you. Clean. Go ahead. I said, so you know what I'm saying? So there are things in a marriage that, I took about 5 minutes, and I'm going to stop right here. Yeah, divorce is an option.
Okay.
It's not an option just
I'm going to stop right here.
Yeah, I know. Because I got to put it out there. I love my wife.
Finish your thought.
I love my wife. You know what I'm saying? And there's a billion things that we can go through but there's maybe one or two things that you just like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this.
Okay. I respect your opinion because again, if we all have the same ideas, this will not be a fun show.
Cookie cutters.
Yes, we'd be cookie cutters, so it would not be a fun show to hear. Mm-hmm. I personally don't believe really divorce is an option. Well, I don't really like divorce as actually an option. I'm not good when I have multiple options. I don't pick well. This is just me, Anthony.
Yeah,
Anthony. So when I say that, I want to make sure I keep that off the table.
Yeah.
Because also I want to address that if infidelity in your marriage is one of those things, then like you said, that should be. And I believe in the
work through that.
I believe in the first word of God. You could either work, but the word of God says either you choose to leave that person. That could be grounds for divorce, and leave. That's fine.
Yeah.
Or if you stick it out, then stick it all the way out. Then don't bring it up years later. Work through. I believe me, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard.
Very,
if you
very
choose to forgive that person, forgive them. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. Not saying it's gonna take a year, 2 years, 3 years, but build that process to choose to stick it out.
It's a process.
But the thing when you're talking about with domestic violence and other things like that, and I believe me, I agree. If it's not safe for you and the child, then I understand. But I also think this is why you should be more intentional about who you pick. Like I'm not saying that people don't just wake up and bust them outside the head, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna keep it. This is Pops and Socks, right?
Keep it a bando.
Keep it a bando. Gotta be real, son.
Hey,
Gotta be real.
Be real, son.
Be real,
You
son.
know who your partner is at their core of core, because they, like I said, if you have been dating. I'm not saying you've been kidnapped or anything crazy like that. Mm-hmm. If you've been dating with this particular person for a while, if you've been on multiple dates and you took the step to then get to know them, they will show you who they really are in the first few year to a months. What it is that we choose not to believe that was just a bad day. They didn't really mean to say that. I remember I've been in situations before in my previous relationships that I was upset because of a situation might have happened. I'm like, man, I can't believe that she would do that. And I'm like, and I got to thinking, I'm like, no, this person really told me and showed me who they was at the beginning. Yeah. What it was is that I painted those red flags green or yellow. Those, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
they don't mean that. Well, when they get angry, that just kind of stuff spills out. And I'm not saying, again, I hope this doesn't sound super critical or I'm putting anybody down. Like that, but I believe you should know. Again, people do quote, like Shaka said, you're going to change throughout a marriage, but nobody flips a switch or changes into domestic violence.
I'll tell you right now that there are scenarios out there. So if me and LaShonda got married at a young age, right? We got married. Let's say we got married at 20.
Okay.
Take it back to the 70s where young men were getting drafted into the war and they had to get married at a young age just to give their significant other proper benefits.
They didn't have to. They chose to.
They chose to. But if you knew me from like 20 to 23 and I was peachy, I was good, I was Captain America out here, saving the people.
Captain America.
And I go off to war and I come back and I experience some PTSD and something in me just switches. And I turn into a completely different person that beats on their wife and this and that.
That's a situation.
Beating on your wife.
So I think the situation changed you. You're still who you are at the core value of before you went to the war. So it's just a situation. So that's when you have to have counseling, because once you're able to get that out, you will get back to who you are in your core. So the situation changed you. Not it's because that's that's not who you are. So once again, a little counseling will help fix it. Marriage can be restored. There's been marriages out here where the guy started out being,
Go ahead.
No, I mean I'm just saying hypothetically. I'm pretty sure there's been marriages out here where the guy was beating the wife, and through counseling, through prayer, like I said, the husband was saved. The husband was sitting there, had a renewed spirit, and therefore the husband was not the same person who he was, when he was beaten. He's a completely different person.
You're going to have to be a new man with a new woman.
I personally know somebody that we was actually talking about this way before this situation. They're talking about their father went off to war and was in the military. Yeah, and he necessarily came back. He was a little bit different. He did suffer from PTSD in other situations. Yeah. And she was telling me that he had said something kind of really out of line, or like almost became like verbally abusive to her.
Yeah.
As to there, and the shock on her face kind of stopped him and realized was like, oh my gosh, I said this to my daughter. And he went and then got said help for that situation. Now, again, there's a difference between, I'm pretty sure he was not that same man when he left, but he chose to then said, okay, this is the point that this has become a good problem or an issue. But the family never, quote, the mom, from my knowledge, they never divorced or anything like that over it. But again, I think like I said, being intentional about who you want to be with, setting clear guides and parameters on those necessary things. And I think, let's say those clear guides, if you talk about what are the big no-nos for you up front and even continuously in your relationship, like example for me, I know this sounds stupid, this is a small one. I don't want a woman who smokes. You smoke cigarettes, weed, whatever. I'm cool with that. I don't smoke and I don't want to be around it. There's nothing worse in this world. Ladies, if you smoke, I'm sorry. I mean, you might be for somebody, just not for me. There's nothing worse. Yeah, there's no judgment. No judgment. Than pressing your lips against somebody who just fish off of menthol. My goodness.
Menthol?
Disgusting. I'm assuming it's a menthol. That's the only cigarettes I really know. But But I'm just saying, like, if you set those clear expectations and boundaries of what are no points for you, then I think that can help and go a really, really long way in your marriage. But also, I mean, people stick by through worse. I mean, we see time and time again
I think
the most horrific stuff people stick through.
But you don't want to set it. You don't want to set your standards too strict to where you're basically just creating yourself to be.
But
single.
you don't want to set them too low to where
everybody.
I mean,
you gotta find the middle point, because I do feel like
smoking is non-negotiable.
And I understand everybody got that non-negotiable joy.
It's not buckling. I'm not budging.
Feel you.
That is a non-negotiable. If there's no woman out there that don't smoke, I'm straight. That's fine. It's just me, myself.
You won't get the look. If Lashana just say all of a sudden, you know, I feel like smoking. It's not divorceable.
So I hope you talk about smoking that pork butt.
You smoking ribs? That's how I'm assuming.
That's what you better be smoking.
You smoking ribs?
Smoking that food? No, it's not a divorceable option. But there will be a lot of long, hard conversations.
All right, so yeah, same for you. So you said smoking is not an option. What would you do if your wife, you know, you was married for years, and all of a sudden she started smoking? You gonna divorce her?
No, I'm not gonna divorce her. I'm having questions why, because clearly this is something that was clearly picked up, or like you said, how can I help you necessarily get through this, or how can we necessarily work through it?
So how come you can't do that before the marriage? Then how come you can't date somebody that smokes and change them?
Because it's not my job. Because it's not. I don't have the. I can necessarily have the option, but it's not my job to necessarily change it.
I mean, I was curious.
It's not my job. It's not my job to change another grown person.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And over time,
in a marriage,
if I have to change again, I believe this is. Somebody said this to me, and it's in a marriage. What is the necessary crap that you're willing to put up with? Let's say if that person never ever changed. Let's say, like you said, Bakari. Let's say if they were smoking before. When I met him, right? If they never change, and if they do change, kudos, awesome. But if they never change, and would I be willing to stick it out or necessarily, right? I'm pretty sure, I ain't gonna lie, I snore. I rock the house. I know this or whatever.
We know that.
But if my wife said that was a non-negotiable for her, and to say, hey, you got to get this under control before.
CPAP.
Yes, the CPAP. But if I never necessarily changed or I couldn't fix that necessarily, I don't think that'd be grounds for divorce. I think those are the things that you have to think about too.
But I just think, I guess
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to put the effort into changing another grown human being. If you don't see it as wrong, then that's fine. Then it's not. I'm not going to try to sit here and change it either. I'm just not going to be around it.
I mean, I can understand that. I also think, like I said, when you meet your significant other, y'all are coming with different things that y'all might not like in each other.
Yeah.
So therefore, you know, you just have to learn. I'm not saying deal with it.
Yeah.
But you sit there and create an environment to where they want to change. Like with me, I'm pretty sure, like, Brittany's not doing the same thing she was doing that irritates me. I'm not doing the same thing that irritates Brittany. Just because she created the environment that I wanted to change, I created the environment for her to change.
That you said what? That you wanted to change. She didn't make you change.
Yeah,
But you saw the error within yourself.
but some
to
things
be,
some things the environment will make you change.
I get that.
The thing, because let's say, for instance, with having a kid, you bring a kid into an environment. That's the thing that you're going to have to change. Okay, you're right. It is a choice. as I started thinking, I said,
you know what? He says, yeah,
yeah, you're right.
But again, if it didn't change, could you still stick it out and be with that said person?
I think that you have to hold in a marriage. Are you willing to forsake your happiness for a lifetime?
That's dying to
Are
self.
you willing to be
Die
unhappy?
to yourself.
Die to yourself daily to the flesh. But at what point are you just not going to be happy for the rest of your life?
Right.
Nah. So
Right.
And I think God,
sorry, go ahead.
God, look here. I think that's where a lot of prayer comes in at, because you got to think, and I'll take it. I'm about to take a biblical on this one.
You got 5 minutes.
Look what look what David did.
2.5.
Look at his wife. Look at
Which
what
one?
he went through. Saul's
one?
Saul's daughter. Who the one who didn't even like him. He didn't even like him, but he still went back and got her after all that. Why? Because she was part of the plan.
Well, legally, I knew when you talk about his daughter, David knew that he actually had no legal right to the throne unless he married her. But that's not here or there. We'll
But
get
I'm
to
just
that
saying
later.
though. But he still stayed with it though.
I mean, he did go back and get her, but that's not right there. But I'm saying
When she was gone,
she was married to somebody else.
even with Hosea, look, she was a prostitute.
Listen.
But he chose.
going around the streets. No. He wasn't gonna look. God told him to go back.
He
God
said-
told. God gave him the option.
he chose. I mean, he could have said, "Nah, I'm straight."
She gone, look, and she gonna stay gone.
Listen.
God said, "I need you to go back and find her."
There
Sorry,
are
what'd you say,
biblical
Shaka?
couples that we cannot always hold in high regard because things were different 2,000 years ago.
And even 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Like I said, most of our great-great-grandparents that
But why can't you?
chose to stay married shouldn't have stayed married more than likely.
They were.
But why can't you
severe-
hold things now to the biblical, from the biblical times up until now?
Because nobody's getting stoned.
But don't we still use the Bible?
Yeah,
to
we
guide
use
our
the
lives
Bible
now?
as a reference for just about everything. But like, is there
But you can't use-
is there anything in the Bible that says when it comes to marriage, if your husband or wife is beating on you, that's not grounds for divorce? I know it says, like we mention all the time, if infidelity, you can choose to leave your wife or you can work on it. But do we know what the Bible says about domestic abuse?
Actually, that's what. I haven't. But actually, it says. You're actually correct.
Yeah.
Because they did have that during that time. But it says men should love their wives as God loved the church and respect and treat them as if they are like their own bodies and respect. Because if not, men were doing that.
Yes.
Like Gandhi, if you want to get super technical. Didn't Gandhi even know for beating his wife? Right, because that was their time.
Yep.
However, just like when during that time, same point of time, and even throughout history, slavery. The Bible also talks about a slave should quote go to their master,
true.
respect and teach, love your master.
Yeah.
Right. But everybody when they hear that, they're like, no, nobody should own another person. But slavery was different during that period of time. It's over here. There, we'll get into that later. But it says that if a master if you were to beat your said slave,
Yeah.
you should give them their papers and forgive them their freedom.
Yeah.
Necessarily. So it did talk about not treating somebody because you quote own them or you're stronger than them to then beat on said them.
Yeah.
So yes, it kind of addresses that, but at the same time, like you said, our grandparents, I think we want that, and we can't listen, the word of God is not Chex Mix. We can't pick and choose the pieces that we like to you quote reference. And again,
I like that.
you and the word of God, it has to, instead of being a reference for your life, it's either the word of God for your life, or if we use it as reference, we'll pick and choose pieces that we like and don't like. Believe me, if you're reading the Bible right, or if you're reading in full,
Yeah.
there's stuff I read to this day. I'm like, oh my goodness, God, like why are you? I just came to try to get an encouraging word before work. Why are you coming at me like this?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be honest, I'm offended. I'm offended by the word of God. The word of God is offensive because it deals with our offenses.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a bar right there. I didn't mean to, but that's a bar.
I like that.
And that's what it's. And God says, I know, just like your parents, when they give you instruction, do you like everything your mom and dad has to say?
What? No.
What? There's some stuff I used to go back around and mumble. I wish I would. I mean, I wouldn't say it out loud. Let me be honest with this. I wasn't suicidal.
We ain't crazy.
But that's some stuff I didn't agree or even quote believe that. But I did know, if anything else, I knew my mother had my best interest at heart, and the best interest is the way to move our family safely and efficiently forward. Same thing for God. I don't always have to agree what he says, but I do know he is good. Mm-hmm. He is perfect. He is all-knowing, and I know he knows the best way to help move my life forward. Like just same thing for this work week. I said, Lord, I don't know what in the world's going on at work.
Yeah.
But I know somehow, some way, this is what is creating patience and endurance in me for something greater. And I hope it's sooner than later because what you've been putting on my plate, we're going to have a discussion because this has been bananas. Look,
Wow records.
But I know, just like I said, when we talking about necessarily like the idea of divorce, I just think, like I said, if you already going in thinking it's going to it could fail, and I'm pretty sure 100 out of 100% people who are getting married do not, or I can't say 100. Most people going into their marriage don't believe it's going to end in divorce. Clearly, I don't think they would get a marriage.
No.
Right?
No.
But, again, it comes to, I think, in America, we have to be, I say America because I feel like divorce is super high. If you go to these other countries or places, they're like, bro, what's that? Mm-hmm. But I think if we have to choose to then be said committed, because let's be honest, we're not as committed. We like the ideas of certain things, and I had to check myself with that even about marriage. I said that I want to be married, which is true. The Lord knows my heart. But also some things God checked me on about, I'm going to be real. He was like, in my quiet time, Lord, I want my wife, let her be praying for me like I'm praying for her. And he was just like, man, are you not just saying, like I'm second guessing? He says, are you sure you're trying to, this is not pictures. This is not no ceremony.
Yeah.
What I'm getting you, son, he said, I'm trying to get you ready to endure that lifelong commitment. Let's be honest. You've been committed to things maybe a couple years, a season. This isn't football. Nope. You committed for a year and then it's done. This is a lifelong commitment. And what I'm training you up in is to handle that responsibility. And because everything is not going to be, like I said, sunshine and rainbows. There's some stuff that's going to get really dark. And let's be honest, the more you find about like your person that you're dating, the weirder everybody gets. Like, if you want to be really honest, when you real comfortable with somebody, you get really weird, or you find out this person is off their rocker, and this is. But I'm knees deep in now, so I can love them. I can love them for them.
Comfortable.
Oh, you comfortable. Oh my goodness! But yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
So that was good. That was good combo.
Yeah.
So whether you believe that divorce is an option in your marriage or not, guess what? You're right. Okay, because what works for you works for you.
And
we
if
ain't
you have
professionals
been,
at this,
if
we
you
just
have
go off our
been
own
through
life
divorce,
perspective.
Yeah.
And if you have been through a divorce, we'd actually love to kind of hear your comments and thoughts and stuff about that. You don't have to tell your whole story in the sense of what that person said or done necessarily, because we're not here for that. But we just want to know the kind of like what your thoughts necessarily about that is. Because, again, we're a community, we're family, we're trying to grow together, and that's what we're here for.
Yep.
Come on. So just don't be out here putting divorce as the top option in your marriage. If you do have it as an option, it needs to be the emergency parachute latch in your fighter jet
to get out.
Right? That is your
survival
last
mode
option. It's just not out here as a different option to cereal in the morning. It's man, there's no other way out, and it's like life or death. If it's a life or death situation in your marriage,
think it is for
holla at, leave.
I think that's the only way I would do, because we'll end on this. If I know that my daughters are getting beat, that's the only way that I'm gonna say that they can get divorced. Because if not, then I'm gonna kill him, and then that way they don't have to worry about getting divorced. Plain and simple.
Somebody gotta go.
Plain and simple.
I get it.
If I find out that my son is beating his wife, don't worry, baby. You ain't gotta get divorced. I'm gonna kill him.
I'm gonna kill him myself.
I'm gonna kill him.
I was just about to say. I'll say, yo, I don't. And that's the thing too. The reason we talk about these said things and these subjects, because we have sons and daughters, and we understand that
perspectives change.
Yeah, right. And I personally, I want to raise my son in such a way that he's in high character, high integrity, high man of God, Did my dude knows perfect? No, because he might have his own podcast talking about my dad did X, Y, and Z.
That sucked out here. I had to stay in my room all the time. They did their podcast.
So I told him he could come out. But
tucked
at the
away.
same time, I know he's going to be a husband one day. And I want to make sure the person he marries get the very best version of my son possible. And if I find out he's doing something crazy like that, like you said, she don't have to worry about it because I'll kill him myself.
Oh, this is why we love having these conversations. We're able to be open and we're able to be honest. And whether we agree to agree or we agree to disagree, we can all leave here with a changed perspective, right?
Yeah, of course.
Again, we're wrapping this up, guys. Again, thank you for tuning in with us so much. Again, we appreciate it. With all the love, support, like we said in the beginning. Like, share, subscribe.
Pop socks.
Pop socks.
Yeah, hey, let's leave you with this note. We never had nothing handed. Took nothing for granted. Took nothing from no man. Man, I'm my own man.
Hey, there
Come
it
on,
is.
man. But as a shorty, we gonna stop right there.
Oh, look, I was like, you know the rest of the song. You know the rest of the song.
I do know all the words to the song, all right?
But we thank y'all out there in the podcast land.
Why do I say podcast land?
Because I feel like that's how I connect with the
But
people.
it's on YouTube too.
That's how, but
Podcast land.
podcast,
Podcast.
YouTube
I don't
on the
think so. I don't
podcast,
know. The way you say
podcast
it,
on YouTube.
sound
JJ
No
from
matter
Good
how you
Times out
spin
here.
it.
That's
Yeah,
where you got
that's
it
what
from.
you- JJ out
Got it
here.
from JJ from Good Times. That's
Look,
another story.
but nah, man, forget all that. This will be a long outro right here. But thank y'all
Per
for
usual.
tuning in.
Wow.
Look here, we love you. We can't wait to see y'all next week.
Tune in Monday. Peace.
Peace.